robot vacuum cleaner from Yeedi. This is the K700, very simple to set up and configure. It works directly off a remote control. Really impressed with it. Hi guys, today we're unboxing a robot vacuum cleaner. So this particular one is by a company called Yeedi. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links. A couple of things worth mentioning about this robot vacuum. It has smart navigation with VACCUM, and that allows the robot vacuum to map out a whole region and clean it in a zigzag fashion, ensuring the whole area is cleaned. It has a smart mopping system, ensuring that the floor dries immediately after mopping, and a turbo pickup with suction up to 2000 PA on this one. It can cross obstacles up to 1.6 centimeters. It also has infrared sensors to avoid obstacle collision. So let's open it up and see what you get in the packaging. Okay, so I've laid out everything you get in the packaging, so let me quickly go through the items one by one. You get a card, which is the EU Declaration of Conformity. You get instruction manuals, which are multi-language. You get a remote control, and the button feel is good on this. And in terms of batteries, it takes 2 AAA batteries, and these are provided in the pack, which is good. You get a cleaning tool. One end has bristles, other end's hard, and then you have a knife there, and that's used for cutting out anything caught up in the brushes of the vacuum. You get 2 side brush attachments that go onto the vacuum. You get a docking station, and the cable length on this is 175 centimeters, and coming around the back, what's quite nice, they have cable management on there, so you can tidy away some of the cable if there's too much of it. And in terms of build, it's strong plastic, glossy around here, and a matte grey finish. And you can see the contact points there are movable. Looking underneath, you've got some rubber pads on there and foam over here to stop it slipping on a surface. The output on this is 20 volts DC 0.8 amps. You get a mopping accessory, and this needs to be replaced within the robot vacuum. Has 2 pads on there. These can just be ripped off and replaced. They can be washed as well. And in terms of filling this up, you've got a filling point there. Just fill it up with water and then connect it onto the robot vacuum. Build quality of this feels good, nice strong construction to there, and you can see the maximum point there, so 300 milliliters. Next we have the robot vacuum, and in terms of dimensions, the diameter is 32 centimeters, and the height when it's on a flat surface comes in at 8 centimeters. Build quality feels really good, nice strong construction to that. You've got a camera here from what I can see, you've got a power button, and looking at the front, there's a bumper. Now coming around the sides here, looks like a reset button here, you've got a power button there. And then if I come round, you've got the container where the dust is collected, and if I push that down, pull it up, comes out. And to put the mopping one in, very easy, hold that down and then push it into position. There you go. If I continue going around, you can see there's a vent here, all glossy here, looks like there's sensors behind that possibly. Coming underneath, you've got the point where the side brushes are attached, and that should be very easy, just a matter of taking it, clipping it on. You've got 2 wheels here, stay in that position, and this one spins around. You've got the charging points there. You've got brush here to assist with cleaning, and it's always good with a robot vacuum actually has one of these. Pickup is always better when it's like this. I have seen others which have nothing other than just a bit of a gap, and pickup is normally not so good on those. Now to get started with this robot vacuum, one thing to mention first, there's no app control with this. So no messing around trying to add it onto your Wi-Fi, configuring an app and changing the settings on there. It all works off this remote control. Now in terms of usage, you've got directional control on there, start and pause, return to charger, edge cleaning and spot cleaning mode. And that's it, nothing beyond that. Let's get started with this. So I've plugged in the charging station into a power point here, coming down there, looking at the side of the robot vacuum. You can see an on button, I'll turn it on. Let's give it a second. There you go, and what we'll do, we'll just push it onto the charge station initially.
I'm starting to charge.
There you go, tells you it's charging. Let's test out this robot vacuum. So what they recommend in the instructions, if you had any cables lying around the room, tidy them up, just tidy up things that will get in the way of the vacuum. And what I've done, I've just moved bits and pieces out of the way. So I've got some gaming bean bags I've shifted to the side, moved cables out of the way, so it gives it a good chance to give it a thorough clean. Now in terms of usage, all you need, as I've already said, is a remote control, and on here I'll briefly show the functionality. So if I hit the play button,
I am starting the clean.
Yeah, it informs you the cleaning is started. And midway through a clean, if you wanted to pause, just hit the button again, pauses it. You've got directional control so you can navigate yourself. See yourself move it into a direction and then move it forward, and as it's moving it just cleans at the same time. Now next, coming down here, you've got edge cleaning. So with that, if I click that one, it will just find an edge and clean along there. So let's give it a moment. There you go, nicely going along and just going along the edges. Now if we pause that for a moment, just get it to go forward, turn it slightly, and I'll select spot clean next. There you go, so starts in an area and just works around in a circle just to do that clean up in a spot. And now if I pause it for a moment,
Task cancelled.
hit the return to charge option.
I'm returning to the charging dock.
There you go. Give it a moment, let's see how long it takes to work out where the dock is.
I'm starting to charge.
There you go. So simple as that, and it returns to the charging dock. And that's it, that's all the controls you have on there. Let's test out a clean then. So I'm going to start it off and leave the room, and I'll be recording how it gets on. So if I now hit the play button,
I'm starting the clean.
and let's leave it to it. Now the cleaning cycle, the first one's completed. Let's turn off the vacuum, turn it over, and see what it's picked up in terms of dust. Now if I open the top here, you've got a filter there, and coming this way you can see a light amount of dust. So this room's already been cleaned previously, just a couple of days ago, but it has picked up a nice amount of dust there. Next, let's test out mopping with the vacuum. And if I bring the water container here, open it up and just fill it up with some water. There you go, I put some water in there, and now if I just plug it in, you can see already it's getting wet over here. Now I've come to the entrance of my bathroom. I put the docking station just on the edge of the doorway, and I put a box just to avoid the robot vacuum coming out of there. So in general, you wouldn't normally do that. You just put the vacuum in a location and hit the play button. But I just want to see how it reacted to this. So if I now press play, now just to know, I can see the mopping doesn't come up to the edge. Obviously it does brush away any dust, but mopping doesn't. So that's an interesting one to note. There's the edge cleaning. You can see for yourself, slight gap left at the sides.
Cleaning is complete. Returning to the charging dock.
There you go, cleaning is complete. Couple of observations. Obviously it doesn't go all the way to the edge. The other thing is it did go over the same ground multiple times, which isn't the end of the world. Obviously it does give a thorough clean, but just some things to keep in mind.
I'm starting to charge.
There you go, done. Just to show how well it's done mopping up, you can see for yourself it's picked up quite a lot of dirt, even though the floor was mopped about 3 days ago. So it's done a good job at that. Now I'm at my first floor landing area. You can see there's a few doors and landing leading down to the ground floor there. Let's see how it copes with this. If I start it off, we'll keep an eye on it. There you go, done a really good job cleaning up. Now, one thing to note, it just feels like it does go over the same ground multiple times. Just to note, it didn't fall down the stairs, which is a positive sign straight away. Obviously it has sensors to pick up, there's a step there. And coming in close, floor was generally clean here, so the carpet was cleaned a little while ago. Let's have a look at how much it's picked up. So if I pull this out, coming over here, and you can see there, it's quite a bit. So that's a lot of fibre coming off the carpet. The carpet's quite a new carpet, so quite impressed that it managed to pull up quite a few bits and pieces. Now just to empty the content, just to show it. Here you go. Considerable amount there, so very impressed. Now I'm in my kitchen, got a tiled floor here, and let's see how it performs here briefly. And the main gotcha here is really getting underneath the cupboard there. So if I now hit the play button, I'll just briefly show this. Perfect. You see that? Slips easily underneath the cupboard. And the same again. So there you go, perfect for kitchens as well. Okay, so now I'm in my through lounge area, so living room and dining room over here. I've tucked in all the chairs over here just to show, and we're going to test out how it reacts to different surfaces. Obviously we've got a wooden floor here, we've got a threshold, and then we've got a thick rug over here. Now what I'm going to do, just going to hit the play, let's see how it reacts. And we've got foam over there, so
difficult to locate. I am starting a new cleaning cycle.
no issues there. Now it's not jumping on the rug, that's interesting to see. Rug is slightly thick. Let's let it go back again, and I'll try the remote to push it on there. Now let's manually try getting onto the rug. So if I just go forward, hold on to it, and it just doesn't go onto it. There you go. Spin it around. Let's try again. Nah, not even at a corner. And if I come over, just to show, that's how thick it is. So I guess it's thicker than what it's expecting. So they say thresholds up to 1.6 centimeters in depth. So it was fine with the wooden one just over there, but struggled over here. Now if I take it, let's put it and see how it reacts with the foam. So these foam mats it doesn't struggle with at all, so that's fine. So thing to keep in mind really, if you had really thick rugs, probably wouldn't be able to cope with it and it'd just go round it. So now for my favourite test really with a robot vacuum is putting flour on a wooden floor and rubbing it into the grain. So just to show, this is engineered wood flooring, and if I go like that you can see it just dropping into all the grain areas just over here. So that's well and truly stuck in there now. So what we're going to do, we're going to hit the spot clean on the remote. So now let me select the spot clean option. Oh wow, it's actually done well. Let's see how it does with this area. A lot of it's gone. You can see some in the grain there. Okay, let's hit it one more time over the area. See if I get it just over it.
Complete.
Okay, so let's have a look how it's done. And it's not too bad. You can see some bits in the grain. So that's 2 times it's gone over the area. Now I've got my Dyson V11 here. Let's see if that can pick up what's remaining on here. Okay, it's done quite good. Let me take it to the maximum now. There you go. So the Dyson handheld vacuum on maximum has managed to clean up the area. I come in close just to show. There you go. So it does well. It's not too bad for such a compact vacuum, but I had to top it up with just using a handheld vacuum just to clear out the last bits of remnants. So not a bad test. Obviously it's done reasonably well. Next, just to give you an idea of noise levels coming from the vacuum. So I've got my sound level meter here. If I go quiet for a moment, ambient noise levels in the room are 35.5 decibels. So if I now start the spot clean, okay, so I'm seeing about 66 decibels from here. So not bad actually, pretty quiet. Okay, so you've seen the unboxing and setup of this robot vacuum cleaner from Yeedi. This is the K700, very simple to set up and configure. Impressed by the fact it's a robot vacuum cleaner, but it has no app. So it works directly off a remote control, which I was a bit dubious about initially, but really impressed with it because it actually gives the fact that there's no nonsense to it. So no nonsense about connecting it to a Wi-Fi network, setting up an app or anything like that. Literally, unbox it, plug it in, hit play on the remote, and that's it. It scans your room and then just cleans it up. So excellent functionality. Cleaning wise, it's not too bad. You've seen for yourself. Mopping wise, it did clean up a fair bit off the tiles. It copes well in the kitchen, so it can slide underneath cabinets well. In terms of multiple surfaces, you saw for yourself, if the surface is too thick, for instance, a thick rug, it will struggle. Obviously, there's a limit of how high this will go. My flour test with it, where I rubbed flour into a floor, it did reasonably well with it, I have to admit. With 2 rounds going over it, it picked up a fair amount. Obviously, there was some residue still left within the grain, but still it did well. So there you go. I hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing a robot vacuum cleaner. Stick around for the end cards, as I'll have a playlist with other robot vacuum cleaners if you're interested in watching. Hit the like button and drop me a comment. Let me know what you think of this. If you disliked it, drop me a comment to let me know why you disliked it. So there you go. Thanks for viewing and see you in the next one.